Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new chapter of our weekly Open Innovation Thursdays. My name is Marisol Menendez. I'm an open innovation practitioner and enthusiast. I really like to geek out a little bit and understand and learn every week about open innovation. I have my own company, Bilakatu, where I orchestrate ecosystems and dedicate my life to open innovation. And I've been doing that for many years now. And it's such a joy for me every week to get to know and learn firsthand from the authors of the Oxford Handbook of Open Innovation about every aspect of open innovation. We've been doing that for 1 year already, and it's been amazing. Just 15 minutes talking about little tidbits about open innovation. And today we have our guest, Yao Sun. Welcome, Yao. How are you today?
Thank you, Marisol. Very nice to meet you. I'm doing really good, despite being really cold out here in Eastern America. But yeah, we're doing really good.
Where are you connecting from?
New Jersey.
Oh, nice. So, yeah,
Yep.
enjoying the cold weather right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I figure that maybe some people will be listening in summer because the podcast remain and the videos remain. So maybe
Yeah.
talking about cold and somebody will be listening in summer.
Right.
But here we
Uh-huh.
are in February 2025, talking about open innovation. And, yeah, we always like to learn a little bit about the people who are behind
Mhm.
these stories that we are talking about. So first of all, I would like to invite you to introduce yourself and
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so nice to meet you all, everyone. My name's Yao Sun. I'm from New Jersey Institute of Technology, currently assistant professor here at the Department of Social Sciences and Humanities. And my two co-authors are Dr. Anne Maishak, who's a chaired professor at University of Southern California, Marshall School of Business, and also Dr. Arvind Malhotra, who is at the business school at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So yeah, we are all enthusiastic about open innovation, and I'm specifically doing research on how to unleash crowds collective intelligence to solve broadly defined weak societal challenges and problems. For example, how do we combat climate change, and how do we maintain societal sustainability, things like that. So really, I like Marisol, you mentioned you enjoy the process. Me too. I do too. I enjoy learning and researching open innovation theories and practice. It's always fascinating to see how the crowd can actually make open innovation theories a true life story in the real world. I think it's a really enjoyable process for me.
So interesting. And 2 chapters ago, chapter 33 was accelerating to raise net zero through open innovation with Anne-Christine Sobel and Stephen Comelo and Lucas Flalkel. And so I
Hmm.
that there are many common areas of interest here. We also have some other chapters talking about crowdsourcing. And so
Hmm.
I really enjoy when we are interconnecting our own areas of interest. And
Yeah.
you very well mentioned that you co-wrote a chapter together with Anne Marsac and Arvind Malhotra.
Hmm.
And this is the chapter we are talking about today, chapter number 35, Open Innovation Theories. That's the name.
Hmm.
I like it a lot. By the way, everyone, this is the first chapter of section 7, which is Open Innovation and Theory. So we will have from now till chapter 42, we will be exploring different aspects of theory of open innovation and beginning with this very solid chapter of open innovation theory. So my first question, Yao, is why did you decide to write this chapter in the book? How this chapter came to be?
Yeah. So we we were really appreciative that we got the invitation from the entire the handbook team and to invite us to contribute a chapter. And we really thought that the theory needs some work either to put everything together to provide a roadmap to the practical world. And so that's how and why we decided to, okay, let's just start from theories. Let's just take a look at what the literature can and haven't yet offered to the practical world, and let's first do like a very systematic summary to see what's next, basically, for open innovation. So that's basically the story behind the stage for this chapter. I know theories can sometimes be very abstract and especially for maybe folks working mostly in the industry or in a real world kind of a context. But really, we actually draw upon some like real world case studies and then to implement open innovation theories, and then to get an insight to see how we could improve our open innovation theories. So that's basically the approach that we wrote this chapter.
So interesting, because there's also this continuous effort. I think also we inherited that from Henry Chesbrough himself. He's always
Yeah.
trying to get closer theory and practice, no? And
Mhm.
we are trying to make sure that the knowledge also keeps very nurtured from what we learn from reality, no?
Right.
I'm a practitioner, and I always appreciate chapters like these to help us also understand theories that maybe we cannot envision. But so what are your discoveries on, or what came through when you put together the chapter?
Yeah, so we started actually from a very interesting case, which talked about biological, like how biological management companies can respond to their natural or environmental challenges by using collective intelligence, or like by using the wisdom of the crowd. So we started from that case study, and then we then connected back to the theory world, and then we realized that there are three different approaches to theorize the wisdom of crowd or open innovation. So the first one will be to theorize the crowd collaboration process. So we found in the theory development that we already have like stigmergic self-organization theory, which emphasize overlapping knowledge and paradoxical knowledge, and then specifically recent knowledge. All those types of knowledge can offer very good insights to practical world. And then also we found that robust action is another good theory to describe the crowd's collaboration process, which emphasize participatory architecture, and also multivocal inscription, and then distributed experimentation. So that basically will encourage the members of the crowd to speak up their own opinions. And then the third type of theory is theory of coopetition, which highlights communication and competition while cooperation. And then also it says it's not only competition or rewards or career opportunities, but also if crowd members can play a collaborative role in this process, then they themselves will feel being rewarded. So I think that's another good theory to describe crowd collaboration process. Yeah, so that's the first part of our chapter. chapter. And then in the second and third chapter, we also try to theorize the system affordances of crowdsourcing or open innovation. Basically, we try to describe the characteristics of a platform, like socio-technical affordances, for example, and also the affordances of social product platform. And also, after researching the platform characteristics, we realized that, maybe it's good to also take a look at the way that people govern themselves. So we then find ways to theorize governance. So again, there are three perspectives. First of all, is distance search, and then second, it's simultaneous problem finding and problem solving. And then the third one will be contingency approach, meaning that whatever approach that the members of crowd takes, really it depends on the context or the interaction between crowd members and the environment. Yeah, so that's basically the quick sketch of our chapter.
It's such an interesting map about the different theories and different layers and how to find the related theories, no, to research. So my first question, so you are always associating open innovation to crowdsourcing in this case,
Mm-hmm.
and relating the theories to the grand challenges or the bigger problem solvings that we find in our world. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yes, perfect. So what are maybe the areas to research or some next steps that other academics and maybe practitioners, challenges that we can find in the future, blind spots that you couldn't fill in?
Yeah, I think, I mean, you just mentioned a good point. Open innovation theories are mostly implemented in or through crowdsourcing, and also other crowd-empowered solution generation platform or idea generation platforms. So, in future studies, probably we need more or better or smarter ways to maximize the novelty, because we realize that sometimes in the platform, some members can get very free-flow, because there are tons of members speaking, and then some members they may lose the opportunity to voice their opinions. So we need smarter algorithms, basically, to really bring up the novelty and innovation. And also, we need smarter platforms or techniques to implement the crowd-generated solutions. Sometimes the generated solutions can be very broad, okay, and then however, if we try to implement those ideas, then sometimes we need to localize all the ideas, and then especially for different industries. So that's another aspect that we found from our research. So for theory part, we sometimes we realize that participants' behaviors and perceptions are also important. So we probably need a little bit of experimental way or approach to further theorize online crowd members' behaviors. But again, one small step at a time, and together we will build strong theories.
Yeah, it's even a crowdsourcing effort, this one of
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, we always say that the open innovation community is an open innovation community as well.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, this is so interesting. And I always advise people and also fellow practitioners, of course, academics, to look into these chapters also as a perfect guide to find the right kind of literature, dig into other theories that might go unnoticed in the day-to-day life, that can help you even discover or get inspired by other cases, in your area of practice and reality. And time flies here in the podcast, and we're already in our 15-minute mark. Any final idea, any message you want our listeners and viewers to bring with them?
Yeah, I think it will be actually a good pedagogy to also implement open innovation. I do it in my own teaching, actually. I mention open innovation and collective intelligence, wisdom of the crowd in my class. And also, I sometimes just do or run a crowd or student-based participatory kind of a platform, and then to collect their either their work or their thoughts, and then also to most importantly to enable them to communicate with each other. I think this is a really effective way to at least to enable citizens, and then also regular individuals to speak up and then to voice their opinions. In social media now, we have a very big space for everyone to say anything. But I mean, open innovation and crowdsourcing, and also the collective intelligence. These approaches are actually very good way to provide officials and industry practitioners an opportunity to really hear from our people, from the citizens. So I would encourage all practitioners to implement open innovation and then to learn from it.
And share their learnings. And we are doing that, by the way,
Exactly.
every Tuesday in Spanish.
Hmm.
We are reviewing the chapters as well with the Spanish speaking practitioners, because
Oh,
the
okay.
authors don't speak Spanish. We then try to find real cases in real life, and we are trying to provoke this circle of learning. And I think you're right, Yao. We should open ourselves to even learn and after implementing and share our knowledges. This means
Yes.
great to talk to you. Really, thank you very much for your time, for sharing all your work here. And of course, we invite the listeners and viewers to take a look into the chapter. Remember that you can access each chapter individually as well. And of course, I invite you, all of you, and of course, your students as well, Yao, to listen
Yeah.
to the rest of the chapters, because this is a very easy way to get a general idea on different aspects of open innovation, and we can keep learning together. Thank you very much for connecting today, Yao, and see you
Thank you.
everyone next week in our next chapter of Open Innovation Thursdays.
Thank you, Maricel. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.